Hi guys, welcome back to another Daily Tarot card. These are your Daily Tarot cards for Wednesday, August the 9th, 2023. Today we're pulling from the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot cards. So Spirit was telling me, I believe it was over the weekend, that there was something significant happening with a blue moon. And I just saw that the second moon of August, that is going to be a super moon, also is a blue moon. I should have wrote it down. When Spirit tells you something, like, even if it doesn't make sense at the time, write it down. So you have that guidance, timestamp, date, whatever they're telling you at that time, what was the message, So definitely shift. We're getting a lot of the shift energy. We get the King of Candles and we get the Emperor. I get that order and structure energy, fire energy, bravery, courage, strength, resilience. Embrace that Lion's Gate energy, the 8th is the closing of the portal. This is something significant, like in the Hebrew faith we have, where we do a fasting, and it's like at that time of the year where we can, the ark opens up and we can ask for certain things. I feel like it's very much like Hanukkah, where we sit there and we light the menorah, but it's also a time to ask for like wish fulfillment, like, blessings in that way. You know what I mean? That devotion to light the candle every single night. But I sit there on my phone and I do one by one. Some of them are really big, to sit there, not just to benefit us as a family, but to benefit the world. You know what I mean? And it's like we ask for certain things, you know what I mean? And I know sometimes it's a big ask, what we ask for, but it's just like, if a lot of us got together and asked for the same thing, it's like maybe that will make a change. The power of prayer is very strong, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's like kind of like that kind of energy where it's like, wish fulfillment. I feel like this is manifestation fulfillment. You know what I mean? I love the fact with the World card, it's like things are coming to an end. You see that with the 9 of Swords as well as the 4 of Swords. It's like, things that keep you up at night. But I also get where it's kind of like when you're awake and you kind of get into that, your head, you know what I mean? You're just like staring off into the nothingness. And something comes up that makes you, keeps you up at night, and it's like it's no longer keeping you up at night. Like you've come to a place of closure. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where the World card is there. Is like the things that are holding us back are the things that kind of have they have gripped their claws into us. You know what I mean? That it doesn't affect us in a positive way because we know logically like it's not meant for us. You know what I mean? So it's just like letting it go. You know what I mean? It's just like, for me, this is a huge step because for once I listened to my head, and I feel like this is something that happened before, and it's just like, universe protected me as much as I wanted it. It was just like, it's not meant for you. And the more that was revealed to me, I was like, ooh, this definitely isn't meant for me, So it's just like releasing things. Not everything that comes across our path is meant to stay in our life. You know what I mean? It's the release. That really shows growth, you know what I mean? Because it's like you realize who you are, what you want in life, who you want to become, as you move forward. And, sometimes puzzle pieces will come to add to your life, and sometimes they just don't fit. As much as you would like them to, it's just like, especially as Spirit is, talking about a partner coming in. And, there's one that, they said, like, a year and a half, you'll be phenomenally happy. But I feel like, things will shift. You know what I mean? Because as you get older, everybody shifts. And, they'll drift, they're just going to drift. So, you know what I mean? I feel like it's avoiding a tower moment is what they were showing. So I feel like that in that sense, it's like having the maturity to be like, let's avoid that altogether. Just be grateful for the opportunity. For me, the biggest thing has taught me that I could love after loss again. And that's a group that I'm a part of with Ed and Nancy Quinn that they created. And it's giving everybody that hope. Even in the beginning stages, I wasn't even looking for that. But you know what I mean? Just to see, like, how people have come together, you know what I mean? It gives you hope. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of couples in my life where, there's one in particular that just celebrated their anniversary, and it wasn't the easiest start for them because they had a lot of, backlash for them coming together. But the thing is, like, they've never been happier. I believe they're celebrating 10 years together, I think. It doesn't matter how many years, but I knew she was happy, and that's what was, I just said, I'm like, she's happy. What does it matter? People were coming at her, and I'm like, she's happy. Who cares? It's not your life, it's her life. You know what I mean? It's just like, she's happy. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? It's just like, leave her alone. So I was just happy to see that. Like, you know what I mean? People that, sat there and took a chance on love, and just to see them years down the line happy, and you know what I mean? They're just goofy like each other. They just get each other. I love it. You know, Page of Presents here. I love the fact that we get the 10 of Potions, and we also get the 6 of Cups. And I feel like in that way, it's just like, this is like in 3 weeks time, which is going to be right around the super moon, the blue moon. You know what I mean? It's like everything will be content in your life. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean like $1 million is maybe $1 million. God bless. I'll salute that $1 million falls into your lap. But I feel like it's like everything will be content. I feel like happy couple, happy children, happy home life. Everything is in peace, harmony, feng shui. You know what I mean? A lot. You know, some people have already started school. Some people will be getting ready to head back to school. So it's like getting back to that routine. But it's just like, you know, being blissfully blissful in that moment. In that moment, being grateful. Like, I always try to make sure, if I'm getting up at the dawn hours, like, you know, I see the sun rising, I always thank God for another blessed day. You know, for watching over us while we sleep. You know, sitting there and being grateful what we have. Like I said, like, you know, one thing I was sharing with TikTok was like, you know, I just started watching This Is Us. I'm one of those people that, you know what I mean? Everybody talks about it. I'm like, yeah. I was watching other things and I just didn't have time for it. And I was just like, you know, I got into it and I was just like, oh my gosh. You know, like I still have the last 2 episodes. I had the last 3. But I had the last, you know, couple episodes on my PVR still. And I'm like, oh, I want to watch this whole thing. And I've been looking for it. And then I just saw it on Netflix last night and I lost my mind and I started watching it. And like one of the things the doctor shared with Jack, which is such a powerful lesson, because he's like, you know, life has handed you the sourest lemon. The trick is like to take that and turn it into something that resembles lemonade. You know what I mean? And I feel like that is so powerful, and Jack turned into his own thing, like, you know, to encourage the kids. There's nothing that we can't turn into something that resembles lemonade. And I feel like that is the biggest thing, because it's just like, even when you feel like, you know, I even said that like my life is over, you know what I mean? I'm like, how the heck do I come back from this? You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, that's why, and nobody understands like why I am so devoted. You know what I mean? And only someone that has lived through what I have lived through, and I would, you know what I mean? No offense to anybody, but unless you're a widow or a widower, or, you know, and gone through that kind of loss where your piece of your soul is missing, you will not understand that. You know what I mean? But it's just like, even last night I was working and a lady was outside, and I don't know why my dad came through, but he did. It was out of nowhere. And I was just like, oh, I was so happy. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm outside. And I could hear the train whistling. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And I said, can I share something with you? And she's like, what? And I said, honestly, you made me so happy. She's like, why? And I'm like, because I said, that is a sign of my dad. And I said, he worked for CN. He laid down tracks. He actually passed away at work like my husband did. And I said, the fact that he came through right now, I said, what is the odds that I would hear a train right now? And I'm like, I don't know why he came. I should write that down. I don't know why he came in. Maybe he's proud of me, because I know I have his worth ethic. Like we both are like, you know, go, 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 go. You know, we're driven, you know. And it's just like the fact that came in, it just, you know, oh my God, I have to write that down. It's not that I forgot about it, but it was just like, you know, the fact that he came in like that, you know, I even shared that one day we were at Walmart, and I was just like, I knew there were train tracks around, but I've never seen a train in Miramichi. So I was just like, okay. And we've been here for 6.5 years. I have never seen it. So the fact that we were there at Walmart one night and we just heard the train, I was just like, you know, I stop in my tracks anytime I hear a train now. You know, it was just like, my dad is there. Like, even when after he passed, they had the old CN rail yard there. I always wore his jacket. I still have it. And, you know, to see them pull the trains out, and the guys would just look at me, you know, because they could see that I had a CN jacket on. They never asked me why, you know, or anything like that. But I went out and took pictures of it. I still have the pictures. You know what I mean? But it was just like, you know, my dad has always been a presence in my life, a force. You know what I mean? But it's just like, you know, the fact that he came out last, I don't know why. You know what I mean? But it's just like, you know, to hear that, I just had ear to ear like a treasure cat. I was just like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? That's what it's just like, it's so significant when your loved ones come around like that. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's why I keep telling people, it's like, even if I can't see them in full vision like you know, as flesh and blood. You know what I mean? Like I used to. Sometimes I can. You know what I mean? But it's just like, what a blessing, you know, when you're able to have that sight. That's why when people's loved ones come in, I tell them, I'm like, they're staying here, they're sitting here. I'm like, they don't want to distract. I love that. It was for one person that happened with another person. And one was their partner and the other one was her brother. You know, I feel like her partner in crime. But the fact that they were just like, okay, I'm going to shut up now. I'm like, no, I'm like, sit here. I'm like, please, like, stay here as long as you want to. Like, you know, whatever I'm like, if you have anything to say, don't worry about it. Just say it. And I said, like, we'll go into it. You know what I mean? And they're like, okay. And he sat there and he was charming in. And I love the fact that he was just like, this is what he felt. This is what he feels. This is what he wants her to know. This is how he wants to guide her. And I'm like, you are so protected and loved. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, maybe she feels bad for how things went down. You know what I mean? And she's the type of person like myself where it's like always working about the kids. You know what I mean? And I tell her that all the time. I'm like, you're such an amazing mom. I'm like, you know I can hear how frustrated she gets in those moments, but you know what? The universe always protects her and always blesses her that she can bless her children. You know what I mean? And she should sit there and she's like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And God, you know what I mean? God keeps blessing her and blessing her and blessing her and blessing her. And I'm just like, see? I'm like, trust. Like, you know, and I felt like the fact, I just love that when he's like, she's like, oh, I hope he didn't, I'm like, no, I'm fine with it. I'm like, for me, it's like they trust me enough and you trust me enough to go in your energy and know that I'm not there to harm you. I'm just there to get what I need to get and I leave. You know, I just, you know, so if I'm able to tap into your energy, I tap into it and you can tell by the reading. If you sit there and fight me on it, then you know, you can tell by the reading it's very, you know, bland. Like you already, I feel like everybody that comes for a reading, you already know what you need to know. But I feel like it's just confirmation of because we doubt ourselves. We doubt our intuition, you know. That's our ancestors and everybody coming around, you know. But just like the blue moon, you know, they mentioned it. I'm like, oh, you know, we just had a blue moon, so it has to be off, you know. I'll check it later. But it's like, sure, wrote that down. You know what I mean? But it's like, honestly, like, you know, sit there and if you're being drawn to this, do it. Like, you know, I did this scared. Do it anyway. Like, I didn't want to do lives. I had someone encourage me. They're like, just do a live. Just see what happens. I thought I was going to flop so hard. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? And I did it. And they're just like, see? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what a blessing. What an ability, you know what I mean? That we're blessed with. That, you know what I mean? When you tap into it, like, you know. I was praying when it happened. When I got channel messages for someone else the first time. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you know? So I let them know, you know, and I let other people, like, you know, I've gotten it for people that are considered celebrities and I'm just like, I don't want nothing from you. I don't need clout. I don't need you to write me back. I don't need a tip. I don't need nothing. This was shared with me. I'm sharing it with you. Here you go. Do with it what you may, you know. I even reached out to Wendy and I told her to watch her health, you know. She's like, you know, and you know. They even told me she was going to be canceled because this generation don't like her, you know? And it wasn't because the generation didn't like her because she has so many people that love her, you know? But unfortunately, love is what took her out, you know? I pray to God to heal her, man, because she deserves better. I know a lot of people are like, oh, she got what she had coming, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, ugh. You know, you don't want to wish harm to people. Because as much as you wish harm to people or you celebrate when karma hits them in the face, not saying that she deserved it because I don't know her like that. You know, I just only know her for the show. But, you know, from what I feel in the messages, I don't feel like she's a bad person, you know. But it's just like, you got to watch that stuff because, you know, that boomerang will turn around and hit you in the face, you know. But I feel like with the Six of Presents, you know, why I bring that up is just like, you know, when you have healers that you love, you sit there and shout from the rooftops. Like Ella, you know, she's amazing. You know, Reiki healing is no joke. Like, you know, especially when you have someone that knows what they're doing and they actually are putting their energy into the healing purposes. You know, it's just, it's a relief, honestly. Especially if you're someone that has gone through or that does absorb energies, you know. So I feel like it's just, you know, when you're able to hold the door open for others, do it. You know what I mean? Don't sit there and you let your ego get, oh, why them? Why not me? Blah, blah, blah. No, this is what this is about. When a light worker makes it through that door, and freaking is able to shine a positive light, a positive healing light, and help the world in a beautiful way, it's like we all win. You know? That's the way you should see it. You know? When one of us sit there and are able to have a platform to share in a significant way that changes the world for the better, you know what I mean? Do it. Your time will come. It depends how much energy you would put into it. And they will all tell you. That's what I loved about Teresa Caputo when she sat there and she's like, she used to be a hairdresser and do readings. We all start somewhere. You know what I mean? Like she even said, she felt physically ill not being able to do it. You do. You feel like a pent up of energy. But you know what I mean? Look what she's become. You know what I mean? So it's like when you are meant for something and you put your energy into it, the more you put into it, the more the universe will return to you. You'll see it in significant ways. Just keep doing it, you know? You feel drawn to do it? Do it. Sit there. You will feel exhausted at first, especially when you get to the 6 week mark. You know, you got to push through that. It will feel tedious at times, but you will push through it. You know? You will, honestly, once you push through that, you'll know it won't affect you as deeply. You know, you will need rest afterwards. I will guarantee you that, especially when you're connected to someone. You know, when you give them a reading, you could feel it the next day, how depleted you feel. And you're just like, whoa, why am I so depleted? Oh, that's why. Because I did a reading. Because you're sharing your energy. And afterwards, I called back all my energy to me. You know, people, places, things that, you know, that I put my energy into. You should do that every week. I call back all my energy, you know. That's why I see Shabbat as a recharge, you know. Time to recharge with the family, a time to recharge the soul, the mind, the body, the spirit. It's soul food, you know. But this is what I feel like with this, that there's going to be a significant change where you can have some rest, that things won't be so tedious, that, you know what I mean? Just let it flow. You know, if the next two, I feel like the first year, it obviously because it affects the kids, and that's what's going to really, you know, bring a lot of people to their knees, because it's like, you know, kind of like yield. You know what I mean? Because now we're coming for your kids. You know, kind of like how Cheeto went for the kids. You know, sent his wife over there. How bad is it? It's bad. Like, you know, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So it's just like, I understand that he was trying to deter people from doing something, but he did it in such a manner where it's like, you know, where's your heart and soul? Because if the shoe was on the other foot, I guarantee you your kid wouldn't be in there. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's just like, that's what they're going to try and do. Especially because, you know, they came over here and they're, you know, chip technology. We want to know where all the money is because the rich ain't getting richer anymore. So, you know, let's get the underground money. You diminish money, what happens to the business? You know, the cash business, it's gone. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to shake everybody down, hold them by the ankle and shake them out, you know. You know, like I said, just like Robin Hood, you know. He's Little John, taxes, 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 you know. And then you have Robin Hood that's going to come in and save the day, you know. And that's exactly what they're doing. What can you give us? Oh, you're not going to give it to us? Okay, we're going to attack your kids now, you know. And now you're going to do what we say, because now we're coming for the kids, you know. Sanitize, masks, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I will never, ever go outside during flu season without a mask ever again, you know. Keep your cooties to yourself, you know. Sit there and do what you can. But get orange juice in the house. Freeze it. Sit there, get your ginger ale, get your Gatorade for the electrolytes. You don't have to go crazy. Save some for others. Just, you know, get like 8 cans. Put it in the freezer. Sit there, get yourself 2 cases of Gatorade, get yourself a couple bottles of ginger ale. That's the biggest thing, is to get them eating again. You know, because that's where it diminishes them. You know, if they're sipping on orange juice, they're getting the vitamins they need. That's what's going to bring their taste buds and everything back. Sit there and help break their fever. You know, give them Tylenol, then give them a leave. You know, sit there and watch over them. Take cool cloths. You put one on their head. You know, face cloths, put it in the crook of their elbows and behind their knees and on their feet. And it'll take the temperature down. And keep doing it. You will be exhausted afterwards, but at least your kid will be better. And that's, you know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. You know? But you got to protect everybody. But, you know, just be mindful of that. They're going to, you know, just for money. And they can't take it with them nowhere. It's like, where are you going with it? Nowhere. When you leave this world, you go to your kids by the grace of God, you know? It goes to your kids, you know what I mean? Hopefully it's generational wealth. But how rich do you need to be? You're a billionaire. You're a millionaire. You have more money than anyone has ever imagined they would have. A lot of people just want, you know, even a couple of $100,000 just to get out of debt and, you know, help out the family. You know? Greed is disgusting. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Wednesday, August the 9th, 2023. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card. Bye.